Welcome to the Ultimate Mixtape, an Andrew McMahon fan podcast covering his projects from something corporate to wilderness and everything in between. Join your hosts, Jess and Jimmy, as they talk about the Andrew McMahon fandom, upcoming shows, news, and discuss the music with you, the fans.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jess Manzella, and with me, as always, I have my partner in crime and life, Jimmy McFadden.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome back to our podcast. I know we took a little break here, but we were still releasing some of our favorite episodes. So if you stuck with us, thank you so much. And we just got back from our amazing vacation. So it's nice that we get to kind of jump back into another show.
Right.
So in this episode, in this episode, we're going to cover When We Were Young. That's going to be coming up this weekend, which it feels like we've been waiting for this forever. And we just want to talk about the lineup and everything that you can expect, especially, the SoCo sideshow, and what to be excited about for this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of funny that you said we bought tickets so long ago. I actually checked today just to see when that was. It was February 8th.
Wow.
And what are we, October 16th? So that's like 8 months we've been sitting on these tickets for. So it's kind of crazy. But like you said, we had an amazing time. We just took a 12-day vacation through Greece and Turkey, which was absolutely amazing. So we've been home for about a week now. And what else are we going to do? We're going to go travel again. So I guess we do need to unpack our suitcases from Greece so we can pack for Vegas. But traveling for this thing has been a bit, I'm going to say, weird, because I have been scouring airline tickets for what I think is forever, because they're so freaking expensive out of Florida. So we're actually flying to LAX, staying the night in LA on Thursday night, and then driving to Vegas on early Friday morning, because we have heard plenty of reports that you better leave before like 10 a.m. because traffic is going to get really bad towards Vegas. For all the pop-up shows and just people coming for the weekend. And I think there's a con also, Comic-Con or something that's going on also in Vegas.
I mean, that was a little dicey, because if we couldn't find like a reasonable way to get there, we probably would have sold our tickets. So I'm glad that we found a way. We get an extra day in LA, which we love. We also love Vegas. So, even though we don't gamble, we still like to go to Vegas. There's lots of shows and different things you can do when you're there. And we have the SoCo sideshow on Friday, which we're super excited about. But I know, like, one thing I want to do in Vegas is at least go to one of Lisa Vanderpump's restaurants, since I'm a huge Vanderpump Rules fan. Other than that, I think we're gonna kind of just like go with the flow. We don't really have a lot of plans other than just the festival, and it should be kind of a quick weekend for us, but I'm sure we'll feel it on Monday.
Right. When that alarm clock goes off. Yeah.
Hopefully when we're out there, we'll be able to meet some of you guys. We do have like stickers and stuff we're going to be giving away during the SoCo show. So definitely find us. We have 3 tables over by the sound booth. So definitely, if you see us, say hi, come get a sticker. Jimmy designed his very own stickers for the show, which are super awesome. So you'll definitely want one of those.
Yeah, it's actually been kind of cool, because I love doing art, but it's been nice to see the reception for the sticker. Like, people have really been super, super nice about it and wanting it, and people, some not even going to the show, they still want it. So that's been kind of fun. But yeah, to me, this is like a something corporate Vanderpump weekend, because we're gonna hit Vanderpump stuff in LA, we're gonna hit it in Vegas, and then obviously we're gonna hit SoCo in Vegas 2 days. So those are probably the 2 biggest things that I'm most excited about. That Friday Vegas show for SoCo is going to be so much fun. To hear they're going to do like probably 20 plus songs is like, I don't know the last time I heard something corporate play 20 songs in a setting. So that is going to be a blast. We had so much fun seeing them. I guess they played 4 or 5 songs for Andrew's birthday. It was like an appetizer, and it's like now we're finally getting the four
That
course
was
meal.
so quick too. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
they're here. Oh, they're gone.
Yeah. But the festival itself, like I can't believe all these bands are going to be in one setting. That is unbelievable. I just hope the times are to our favor. I'm sure we're going to have some overlaps to be expected because there's so many great bands, but I really hope that we can see a lot of the ones that we want to see. I did see that they are allowing reentry, which I was very, very surprised at. I don't know if we'll take advantage of that, but I was very surprised that they were allowing that because typically I would think it would be once you're in, and if you go out, you're not coming back. So, but I'm very excited about this weekend. Again, the lineup looks stellar. Soko is going to be stellar. What are your thoughts of like, I would say like the top acts like Blink, Green Day, etc.
I would say that when it comes to like this lineup that's been floating around, I think a lot of the like heavy hitters of the lineup are, artists that are like well respected and um I mean, we've seen a lot of these bands before.
Yeah.
So we know that they're amazing live, and I think like just that environment is going to be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
But you know, like the top tier, like Green Day. It's kind of been like rumored around that they're going to have a secret show either like Thursday or Friday. I would love to see like what happens with that. Even though we have Soko and we wouldn't be able to go, but it would still be like a cool opportunity for people that could go. And
Yep.
then like Blink 182, I know there's been like some worry about that because Kourtney Kardashian's pregnant and
Mhm.
people are thinking that if she goes into labor, like what's going to happen.
Right.
So I know that's kind of been a lot of the talk on those ones, but even
Mhm.
like 5 Seconds of Summer, we just saw those guys over the summer, and I keep forgetting that they're on this list.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I have never heard females scream as loud
Yeah.
as I've heard them scream for 5 Seconds of Summer.
That's why I just bought earplugs for this. Yeah.
And if you haven't ever heard of them, think of like One Direction meets Fall Out Boy. It's
Yeah.
basically what they sound like. And we even know like 30 Seconds to Mars is going to be there. So like all the
Mhm.
elder emos that are still obsessed with Jared Leto, they're going to be going crazy for those guys.
Yeah.
The Offspring is always great. I think they're
Mhm.
like, to me, they're classically underrated because they put on a great show,
Right.
and you don't realize how many songs you know by them until you're like listening to them and you're like, that's a jam, that's a jam, that's a
Yeah.
jam. So I'm excited to try to catch them, and I really want to see Good Charlotte.
Yeah.
They don't tour as much anymore now that they're like family men, but they've
I
been
was
kind
gonna
of
say
like
that's been a
sneaky.
while since.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was like a video of them playing some songs that like Sophia Richie took, and it was like it looked like somebody's backyard or something, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so what are these guys are they're playing shows, like I see them like traveling a lot lately, so I'm interested to see like what their set is like now. And they also on this list in the like top tiers all time low.
Yeah.
um They've
Yeah.
had a lot of like radio hits over the last couple years,
Yeah.
so I know they've always had like this rabid fan base that is completely obsessed with them. I never really got into them,
No.
but I know a lot of people are obsessed with them, and respect to them because they're named after Newfound Glory. So you got to
Right.
go with that. But it would be interesting to see how like 5 Seconds of Summer fans intermix with like the Offspring fans, and like that old school meets new school type of vibe. What do you think about those bands, Jimmy?
Yeah. Because like most of the Offspring fans are older, and I fit in that category. And then you got 5 Seconds of Summer fans that probably weren't even born when most of the Offspring hits came out. So
Yeah, do they even know like what fly means?
Right, no, absolutely not, absolutely not. The headliners to me, obviously, I'm very biased to Blink, but Green Day is going to be a lot of fun to see because we haven't seen them since Hell Mega Tour
Hmm.
with Fall Out Boy and Weezer, and that seems like that was like 2 or 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. I know we just saw Blink in Tampa this past year, but I'm very excited to see Blink, obviously. But it's their new record comes out on Friday, the day before the festival, which is super exciting because they've been overseas like the last probably 2 months now, and they've been releasing like a few songs, and now they're like starting to play them. They're starting to mix them in the set list, which has been awesome. I'm not sure how many tissues I'm going to need for One More Time whenever they play it. But that is the song that I'm most looking forward to hearing, literally out of the whole festival, because I just can't wait to hear it live. It's so, so good. Um, but
Oh,
like you said,
all the elder emos are going
oh,
crazy for that song
yeah,
right now.
we should just all sit down and cry. But 5 Seconds of Summer, they were, I would say, boy band plus, like you said, Fall Out Boy. They were a lot of fun. Their fans were a lot, but the earplugs will help me this time around. But they were catchy. I'll say they're catchy, and they put on a fun show. So it's just weird because I don't see them in that setting. So I think that part is like Newfound Glory, Offspring, Green Day, and then 5 Seconds Summer. Like that just doesn't mix together. So I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fun, but Offspring and Good Charlotte are going to be really fun to see because I couldn't even tell you the last time I saw either one of them. So I'm thrilled that they're on the list. But what are your thoughts of like, I'll say the middle of the road groups of the festival?
Yeah, so there's like a center section of the list of all the bands, and
Mm,
um, most of them are like bands that are touring pretty heavy right now, like Rise
yeah.
Against. They're a
Mhm.
Chicago band. They're like local legends in that area. If you've never listened to them, it's kind of like a Bayside Against Me type of vibe. If you
Mhm.
wanted to check them out, but also like Yellow Card is going to be there. Um, they just got off that huge tour for 20 years of Ocean Avenue.
Yeah.
Um, and they're doing the Emo's Not Dead cruise. So
Right.
um, I kind of feel like I'm a little oversaturated by Yellow Card right now. Like, I
Yeah.
think that might be like a pass for me for the festival. Although I
Mhm.
do like them, if I were to like pass by and they were playing, I would probably stop. But
Yeah.
um, there's also some 41. They're in their like last round of shows.
Yeah.
I was actually shocked to hear that they were disbanding because I feel like I thought they would have done that like a million years ago,
Right.
but
Agreed.
they've still been playing their songs. And then Simple Plan is also in that line. They're another one that tours pretty heavy, and like they just played like Disney World.
I was gonna say,
So
I think they're at Epcot every year for like 4 days
yeah.
straight. Yeah.
So I mean, they tour a lot, and they've been on like that tour with Offspring and stuff. So
Mhm.
it might be one that I might skip for a different band, but I
Mhm.
definitely know I want to see Newfound Glory.
Yeah.
Um, their shows are a little bit different right now because of Chad.
Yeah.
We just saw them. He had a chair, and he was still able to play, but it's a little
Mhm.
bit different since his cancer diagnosis. And I feel like his health has been such a constant battle.
Yeah.
But it's nice that they've been able to like accommodate him, and the fans really like kind of step up in
Yeah.
a way and
Yeah.
sing a lot louder and like cheer a lot louder. So I
Yeah.
think if we can catch them, I definitely want to see Newfound Glory.
Yeah.
What do you think about like this little center row of bands on the
Yeah.
list?
I think Newfound Glory would be a priority, especially
Mhm,
if Chat was there. Um, just because it was like it was to me it was emotional to see him. Like
mhm,
he played like the first two or three songs, he was standing up, he was getting into it, and then it was like he needed a break to sit down, which was perfectly fine because of what he's going through. But it was so nice to see him on stage again. And like
yeah,
you kept seeing like Ian go over to him and like play with him. It was just like you could tell how excited they were to have him back on the stage. So I hope he's there. I haven't heard either way. Like he hasn't. I don't think he's posted anything about going or not going. That I have seen, but I agree with the yellow card saturation. Um, but good for them also. Like they haven't really done much recently, and it's like they did this 20th anniversary tour for. It seems like they've done it multiple times, but
Yeah.
this tour like really like kicked off for them. Like every venue was selling out. Like they came out with the EP, I guess, probably like midway through the
Mm.
tour. And it's like now they're making music again. So good for them for coming back. Like you said, I don't know if we will see them if we're close. Sure, I'll go watch them because I had to blast the Jacksonville show. Um, that was a lot of fun to see them. But and if Newfound Glory is probably like the top out of this middle list. We did see them with All American Rejects, but it was like a 9 song
Yeah.
set. So it was like I don't think it was like it wasn't a real show for me. So it's like I would like to see them at this festival, but those are NFG is probably the biggest one out of this list. I'm gonna say there's like the next row down is I'm gonna consider them wild cards.
Mhm.
What do you think about that? Like I want to say third row of the festival.
Well, I do just want to say the last time we saw Newfound Glory in Florida, that was not a very great show because a lot of the delays that were had. So it'd be nice to see them in a setting that's a little more organized and, hopefully more respectful to their time.
Yeah,
Um, and we know a lot of people absolutely love them, so it'll be
yeah.
fun to see them. I think
Even
the
Andrew, even
yeah,
Andrew was like on his last Instagram live. He was like, "Yeah, I just want to stand side stage, so it like it'll bring back so many memories for him." So it's like he definitely
exactly.
wants to see them.
They're definitely, one of those bands that's been impactful for a
Mhm.
long time because they've toured with so many people and helped bring up other bands. So
Yeah,
I think that'll be a good one to catch. But this middle tier, the wild cards, as you said,
yeah,
um, that's kind of where you find like something corporate.
yep,
We'll talk about them separately a little bit later in the episode.
yep,
So I just want to keep going with like more of like the newer bands, I guess, that are in
yep,
this middle, like to lower area. Like I would like to catch some of the bands like Water Parks, Joyce
yep.
Manor, the Front Bottoms, Knuckle Puck, Magnolia Park, Games We
Hmm.
Play, Kenny Hoopla. I noticed, a lot of them have been on tour over the summer too. So
Hmm.
um, it'd be nice to be able to catch them. And they're kind of, if you haven't heard most of these guys, like you're a true elder emo, like you only listen to the old stuff, you're missing out because a lot of these bands are doing some cool stuff. Like
Yep.
they're mixing like hip hop sounds with like a classic pop punk sound element. And I think it's super unique. Their
Yep.
songs are really catchy, and some of them are getting signed to some big labels now. So,
Right.
like for example, Magnolia Park, they're one that's coming up. They're from Orlando.
Yep.
They have a huge tour that they're doing alongside with When We Were Young. So,
Hmm.
um, if you like them there, you can probably catch them in your town.
Yeah.
Another one, Games We Play, he just got off tour with Fallout Boy.
Hmm.
He played some big shows with them, like even at the Metro. And
Oh,
I was
sweet.
following along his Instagram, and he's so thankful and like can't believe it himself.
Yeah.
I was interested to see if he's actually going to show up because he did postpone some of his tour dates for
Hmm.
like mental health reasons. So
Hmm.
I was hoping that, he kind of feels in a good enough state to actually attend the festival.
Yeah.
Um, Another one like Knuckle Puck, they're also from Chicago. I've always loved them because their band name. I'm a big Mighty Ducks fan, and if you
Just a
don't
little bit.
Prince, you're a cake eater. But I've heard good things about like Beach Bunny, AJJ. I haven't made plans to see them during the
Right.
festival, like to catch their sets or anything.
Yeah.
But I have like heard good things about them. And then like the Rex, Zebrahead, Set It Off, No Pressure, Ecstasy. I don't really
Mhm.
know too much about any of those bands.
Nope. Right.
So that might just be something where, like, we're walking past and we stop for a minute and just, see what they're about. So if
Yeah.
you guys catch any of these bands, like totally let us know what you thought about them. I would love to, hear new music. I always like hearing new bands that are changing the game. So what
Mhm.
do you think about like this new class of pop punk
Yeah.
versus like the older ones, Jimmy?
Right. I think it's going to be hard. Obviously, we're not going to be able to catch everything. So it's like we're gonna have to obviously pick our favorites. But I do hope that like that last list that you just gave, I hope we can see a song or two just to see what they're like. It's like
Mm.
seeing them on Spotify is way different than seeing them live. So it's like I really hope we can catch a song or two out of these bands. Like you said, we'll discuss something corporate later. But like out of this list, to me, my like three that I definitely want to see would be Kenny Hoopla. We just saw him open for Blink, and I thought he was fantastic. His set was fun. He was fun. It was so much energy. So I would definitely love to see him while we're there. Magnolia Park, I'm biased to Orlando. Their music is very, very good. So it's like I think we should make time to make sure that we do see them. Water Parks is probably the last one out of the group. I'm trying to think. Daisy Grenade, I think, just opened for them recently. They went on that tour over the summer, and they're a Fueled by Ramen group, so they're getting all the notoriety, all the touring. Like it's almost like early 21 Pilots type stuff.
Mhm.
So I like their music. I think they're fun. From what I've seen on the Instagrams, their show looks like a lot of fun. So it's like those are probably like the main three out of that
Mhm.
wild card set that I would definitely want to see. But I'm definitely probably out of the three. Like Magnolia Park is probably who I'm most excited about. Just to finally see them live. But I think there's like 55 or 54 bands playing this festival. So it's like we still have another section. I don't know if you'd call them like the bottom because I don't think anyone's the bottom because it's like
Mhm.
there's so many great groups, but out of the section that we haven't hit yet, what do you think of those bands?
Like you said, there's like so many good bands there.
Right.
I would say like ones that I would be the most excited to see would be Gym Class Heroes. I
Yeah.
have not seen them since like their Fueled by Ramen days with Fall Out Boy.
Long
Same
time
thing
ago.
with Academy is another great Chicago band that I grew up
Yeah.
with, and I would love to see them. I still am a big fan of William Beckett.
Yep.
They just played some shows with Fall Out Boy again, and I always thought like the sound of their music was a little ahead of their time, so it'd be
Mhm.
kind of fun to see them take the stage again. I saw them the last time when they reunited at Riot Fest, and
Mhm.
um, they're always a great show.
Yeah.
Um, Another one that we love that we always try to catch when they're in town is Motion City Soundtrack.
I can't wait.
Um, I mean, they're just incredible live, and I know Justin's had some health concerns too, but
Right.
um, I think they're definitely worth watching because you never know what Jesse's gonna do. He's
Right.
always doing some sort of like crazy handstand or something.
Yep.
So it sounds like they've had a little bit of a break, so hopefully, Justin's voice is good and they can put on a great show. But another band that I grew up with was MXPX, and they
Mhm.
were like one of my first like punk bands. I remember I had an MXPX shirt, and I thought it was so cool because I like this punk band. Um, and they're
Badass.
just really good guys. So I would love to see them. And then Say Anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely love them. But I know Max is always a little inconsistent and maybe not the most reliable. So
Yeah.
that might be something kind of in the intermix, but we'll see if it
Right.
really happens. But I also thought that seeing like Less Than Jake would be really fun.
Oh yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never seen them before, but I'm always down for a ska band,
Yep.
and I think that they would be absolutely fun to see. Um,
Mhm.
you get like this classic Warp Tour vibe from the rest of the list. You get your
Absolutely.
Bowling for Soup, Finch, Goldfinger, Plain White Tees, the Atari, Citizen, Tiger's Jaw, Phoenix TX, The Movie Life, Hot Mulligan, like all of these bands, they still tour. It's kind of cool that they're still making careers for themselves. And I feel like this festival has given such a great opportunity to these bands that maybe haven't gotten as much attention, and now
Yep.
they're coming back and people are excited all over again. So
Yeah.
I haven't made plans to see some of these bands, but I think when you were talking about wild cards, to me the biggest wild cards are Michelle Branch and the
Oh,
Veronicas.
absolutely.
I know I absolutely love both of them
Yeah.
back in the 2000s. And I think it'd be kind of fun to catch Mr. Hal Branch
How can you
and the
not?
Chronicles, because there really isn't a lot of females on the lineup.
Yeah.
So it would be cool to catch at least one of them during their sets. I know it's going to be hard, like, running between the stages, but hopefully we can kind of make a little plan for ourselves.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
What do you think about them, Jimmy?
Yeah. Once the schedule comes out, I think it'll be a lot easier to like have an attack plan. But we just need to see that damn schedule. Michelle Branch would be a blast. That would be absolutely a good time. To me, like you already said, the Academy is in Motion City is probably like the top two out of all of this. I'm glad it's Cassidy Pulp opening for something corporate, but I was shocked that it wasn't the Academy. I thought for sure that's who Andrew was going to pick. It seemed like that's who he wanted. But like I said, Cassidy Pope's going to be fun because we can still see the Academy is on Saturday, so it's still a win. Motion City's a guarantee. Justin had no voice, I think, the last time we saw him, so it's like, please be rested, please be ready to jam. So they're always going to be fun. I'm excited about Bowling for Soup because we saw them, I think, the last time on the Rock Boat, and their regular set was fun, but that acoustic set that they did together was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. So they're always, like you said, Les and Jake would put on a fun show. I think Bowling for Soup's going to put on a really fun show as well. So I would say that's probably my list out of those. I know you mentioned females. There isn't a lot of females, which I'm kind of surprised at. I think last year's list did, and obviously I'm biased to Meet Me at the Altar. I know they were there, but there were, I think, way more female musicians on last year's than this year's. So I'm not sure.
Well, I think the only other thing I've heard is that, well, Avril announced a show during
Yeah,
that weekend.
Friday.
So
Yeah.
people are saying that she might show up at the festival and, like, do like a side song with one of the bands. So you never know what you might see. But yeah, not a lot of female presence on this one.
No. So we definitely have to see Michelle Branch. Obviously, it all depends on the time, but I think she should be another priority for us. But I think that covers all the bands, at least 99,
most
99, yeah, 99% of them. So, like I said, we were going to discuss SoCo. I think that's like probably the main reason we're going this coming weekend. The sideshow to me is probably going to be the most fun. The festival's obviously going to be fun, but the sideshow I'm really looking forward to. So, what are you like looking forward to the most about the sideshow?
Well, I think, like, for the sideshow, I'm really excited to, be around our friends.
Yeah.
Listen, like, we're gonna all be listening to the band that we've loved forever. So I like the idea of us being around like-minded people that are there
Yep.
for the same reason. And I mean, just like the reason why we're there in the first place is the nostalgia of it all, right?
Oh,
So
absolutely.
it brings you back to the 2000s, and you get to relive that a little bit again. But this time, our backs hurt a lot more, and we're just going to need aspirin in the morning. But
It's all right.
we get to pretend like we're teenagers again. So
Yeah.
for the sideshow, I'm really excited, and they just announced that there's going to be a live stream available for it.
Yeah.
For at least 7 days. So I know that link is on Andrew's page, but we'll try to put it up on our website and stuff too. And Andrew's been doing, like you said, different video calls and live streams and stuff with different members of the band. So that's been kind of fun to see something corporate come and talk about, like, their nostalgia about playing and what songs they want to play. And it sounds like, in order to give the best that they can, they're probably going to stick to the hits.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe a curveball or two in there, but
Yeah.
I know like in one of the live streams, people were really wanting some like deep cuts, but
Yeah.
I don't know if like this is really the show for that.
No,
I
I don't
think
think it is.
this is like where people really want to dance and sing and like, pretend like they're 15 again. And
Yep.
we know that Constantine will be on the list. It's inevitable. And Andrew's actually been playing If You See Jordan a lot lately.
Yeah.
Um, I think it might have been the last live stream, he was kind of like talking about how much he loves playing that song. And
Mhm.
I don't know why, but I was always under the impression that he stopped playing it because he was like, oh, it seems immature to play
Yeah.
this song now because we don't hate each other anymore or
Yeah.
something
He
like
didn't
that.
play it for so long, and now
Yeah.
it's always there.
So it
Yeah.
seems like he's gone back to embracing a little bit of the pettiness that made that song so great. And it's kind of fun to see them like go into that mindset of
Mm.
where they were 20 years ago. And um, you know, Andrew's mindful that people might be seeing Soko for the first time or for the first time in 20 years. So
Yeah.
I think that people really want to have a good time during this set. And I think he mentioned, and it kind of like put things into perspective for me too. He was like, I'm interested to see what a Soko crowd looks like now. I was like, huh.
In their late 30s and into their 40s. Yeah.
What does that look like now?
Yeah.
Because back in the 2000s, if you're going to a pop punk show or emo show, like, right before the show starts, there's that group of bros that pushes their way all the way to the
Yep.
front, doesn't care, pushes, moshes, all that good stuff. And
Yep.
usually it's so packed that you like feel other people's breath.
Right.
And
Right.
you're covered in beer and sweat and bruises by the time
Yep.
you leave. So,
Yep.
now, if you go to an Andrew show, it's very docile in
Oh,
comparison.
yeah. You actually
So
have space. You have space between each other. It's kind of interesting. Yeah.
I am interested myself to see how the fan base is going to be at this show. Is it going
Yeah.
to be reminiscent of the 2000s and the angst that everybody had, or is it going to be a little more chill? I don't
Yeah.
know. It
Part of
kind of,
me, part of me thinks it's going to be a little more angst, just
I think,
because it's
I
yeah,
think people are going to go buck wild. I think they're
yeah,
going to be like, let me get all this 15-year-old angst out of me.
yeah,
So.
1000%. And it's in Vegas, and it's the weekend of the festival. Like, I think people have been hyped for this for a while.
But I mean, let's talk about what songs we personally want to hear. So
Yeah.
here's my top 5 something corporate songs that I want to hear in Vegas sometime this weekend. So number 5, I want to hear Hurricane.
Yep.
Number 4, I want to hear Me and the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I think you have to play Drunk Girl in Vegas.
I'll be a drunk girl in Vegas. Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
2, Straw Dog, of course, just because
Duh.
it's my
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
And number 1, we don't get to hear this song very often. I would love to hear Space.
Mm-hmm.
Such a jam. I think it's such a great like crowd pleaser. I would love to hear that song live again. So those
Yeah.
are the songs that I'm hoping to hear. Um, if you agree, let us know. If you don't agree, tell us what songs you guys want to hear. Leave comments and everything.
Yep.
But what is your top 5, Jimmy?
Well, I approve of your top 5. I like them all. I would love to hear them all. We actually match on 2 of them, so I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm just ecstatic that he's going to play 20 something songs. Like,
Yeah.
even like the reunion shows that they did, it's like, I don't know how many songs there were, but I don't think there were 20. And it was like, this is going to be like a real something corporate set. Like I said, I think there is going to be angst. I think people are going to go crazy for it. I'm very glad that I will be sitting in a chair, watching from our little VIP table. But it will be very fun to watch. But I've enjoyed the Instagram lives that he's done, because obviously you don't get to really hear from something corporate that much, if at all. So it's been like to hear them say, "Oh, I really want to play this," or this takes me back to playing on the weekends together, and like this was our first show together. Like that stuff has been like just so fun to learn and so fun to hear, and like you can literally tell their excitement, which is like pretty damn cool. They're about to play 3 shows in 3 days, so it's like it's pretty awesome. So I'm like just absolutely ecstatic that this is actually happening. Now I know we discussed songs, and we've actually, you and I have discussed this just to us. I feel they should open with Constantine, like you said.
Yeah, I think that would be like the ultimate, right?
Yeah.
Kick it off with the song that people yell all the time, and then we don't have to hear them yelling it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'll catch people off guard because, and as much as I like cringe when I hear it for when he's been playing it lately, I actually want to hear it with something corporate playing it. I think that'll bring back a lot of nostalgia. But if he gets it first song out of the way, you don't have to hear a woman, a man sounding like a woman saying Constantine the rest of the time. So it's a win-win. But I think it would definitely catch people off guard. I think it is going to be a mix of his main, like their main something corporate hits. Maybe a B-side here and there, but he's going to play all the hits that he knows how to play and how they know how to play. He's not going to take too much from like the deep cut. But if I had to say, you gave your top 5, and like I said, we agree on 2 of them. So 5, I have Hurricane as well. 4, I have Wait. 3, I have Fall. 2, I have Only Ashes, and number 1 is Space. So we're good. We agree on 1 and 5. I feel he could play all of those very easily because they're not like far off track. They're not like crazy B-sides. So I could literally see him playing your list and my list very easily because those are pretty popular songs. But besides like the show itself, are you excited about any other part? Like obviously being with our friends, like there's so many people coming from all over, literally all over that. Some people we've seen this year, some people we haven't seen in years. So I think that part's going to be really exciting as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be almost like a family reunion.
It
you
is.
know,
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
get to see people that maybe some people you've only talked to online, or people that you haven't met yet, but you want to. And it's kind of fun, like getting that experience and having everybody in one room together.
Yeah.
We're going to be on the bottom level. So, like I said, if you see us, come say hi. We have the tables. We're going to be handing out stickers. Jimmy
Yep.
designed that Vegas one, so he's excited to get that one out there. And I think before the show, we're probably going to walk the line, maybe some like bracelet trading, things like that. Other than that, my favorite thing for the shows is just to have a drink and sing with some of my best friends and just really have a good time. So
you said drinks. You said drinks plural, right? Not drink. Okay.
There's definitely going to be some drinks.
Okay, drinks.
I don't know like what Vegas holds for us that night because honestly, like the festival starts pretty early.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen on the list that's been like tracking around, SoCo looks like they play earlier in the day, which to me is a little surprising because I feel like they're one of the names that is like really drawing people.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Like what did it showed like 12:30 or something. It's like
so it could be earlier, it could be later, but I think that we probably won't go too crazy the night before because we still have to wake up and make it.
Right.
If they do come on early, we want to make sure we're there for that because that's the whole purpose of this festival was for us to be able to see them as many times. And Andrew's been, like we said, doing those live streams, and he was on with Josh, and it's kind of fun because they all seem pretty excited. And he mentioned that he's excited to be around the band and their families, and I think it's going to be more of like a family affair now. And it's just been fun to see them like enjoying being around each other again.
Yeah.
You can
Because he was
see
even like Andrew has a kid, like Kelly, like he grew up with her and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool to hear. And it's like 20 years later, here we are.
yeah, and they still have chemistry. Like the
Oh
band
yeah.
still has chemistry together, but you can see that they have like a mutual love and respect for each other. And I know people are constantly asking for a Soko tour. Andrew mentioned that there's no plans for one, but I know it's going to break people's hearts to hear.
Yeah.
But on that same live stream, Josh had said that they kind of feel like they owe it to the fans to be, you know, to complete the SoCo trilogy of what they've been doing. They really would need to do a show on the East Coast, and they haven't really counted out doing like the pop-up shows or even getting on some festivals next year. So I think there's going to be more shows. I just don't think it's going to be a tour.
No.
And like I said, the dynamic between them, it's so great, and they respect each other so much that I think that the nostalgia when they're really together and when they complete this weekend of shows, maybe it'll ignite something else, and they're going to be like, yes, let's do this again. And who knows? You never know what you're going to see next year. And I love listening to their stories and the memories that they have of that time. So it's been really, really cool to see them like get back together. So what do you think of Soko doing some more shows?
Yeah. I'm actually glad that they're like sharing this part with us, because Andrew could easily not do any of these IG lives and just like have that time to themselves. But it's been fun for them to share that part of it and see the excitement. I think they'll definitely do a show in the Northeast. I would love to see them do a show in Lake Chicago in the Midwest, but I think there's definitely going to be a Soko show in the Northeast. It just sounded like it from the last two Instagram lives that they owe it, like they kind of owe it to the Northeast, since everything's been in California and Vegas. So I definitely think that's going to happen. I don't think there will ever be a real tour, and I don't even think it would be like a transit type tour when he hit like however many cities, the main cities. I could see him doing like a Northeast and then maybe a Chicago, but I don't see it anything more than that. The other bandmates have too much going on, like with their non-musical careers. But I think he'll definitely hit the Northeast sometime next year. So we'll definitely go. But is there anything else besides like the actual festival itself that you're like excited about?
No, I mean, the idea of traveling makes me tired already. So the festival, our friends, and just enjoying the moment. That's kind of what I'm interested in, and I'm trying not to stress about any of like that planning aspect of it because I feel very ill prepared. But I think that
I do
we'll
too. Yeah. The Virgo in me will prepare us, but we need to see that time list.
I mean, when it comes to actual festival, it's been a hot minute since we've gone to one this big.
Yeah, right.
We didn't go last year because it seemed fake. So the only reason we bought this year is because something corporate. And the people that went last year, like some of them got screwed by the Saturday weather. So um, all I'm trying to do is like be as prepared as I can be as far as like clothing and stuff. I know we got a locker, and so if you're listening, wish us luck.
I think the locker was a good idea. It was like $30 for the day, but the weather is supposed to be like, I think I last saw it was like 88 during the day, but then like 60 at night. And I know our friend Brian went last year and he was like, it actually got kind of chilly like at the night. So it's like, I definitely don't want to wear or carry a hoodie all day. So I'm definitely glad that we got a locker for the day.
And I just wanted to talk about like some of the tips that we've seen from the Facebook groups and stuff. Like if you are going to the festival, try to do stuff that's walkable. It sounds like Ubers and taxis are going to be in like pretty high demand.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's other conventions and stuff going on that weekend. So Vegas is very walkable and very walk friendly.
Hmm.
Just remember, sometimes the distances are longer than they appear. I remember one time when we were walking to the Mirage, and I was like, holy shit, it is like a mirage because you feel like you've been walking forever and you're still like a million miles away from this place. But
And that
uh,
the alcohol doesn't help either.
it does sound like there's parking at the Strat. I saw somebody just post that they got parking for $15. So if you're driving, you can do that and then just walk over.
Mm.
But also, it sounds like there's hydration stations for water. Like you said, it's hot during the day, and it sounds like it got pretty cold at night. So bringing
Yeah.
extra clothes or buying new clothes, and with that re-entry thing that's allowed now, that could
Yeah.
be a game changer because you can change and go back.
Hmm.
Uh, Portable chargers. I've heard that the signal there sucks.
Yeah.
So just like being on airplane mode and making sure that you have a spot to meet up with your friends. It kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of Riot Fest. So if anybody's ever
Mhm.
been to Riot Fest, it's very similar. Like the stages are right next to each other, back to back. So
Mhm.
a lot of times you might not even have to leave one area because you're just bouncing between the two stages.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that you might lose the people that you're with. So we
Yeah.
always have like a spot by the bathrooms or a spot
Great.
by the food trucks that you just meet up with after the sets that you know that you were going to watch.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's some pre-merch things that you can do. Like there's should be pop-ups on Friday and Saturday and Sunday where you can buy merch, like
Hmm.
festival merch, before it's available in the show.
Yep.
So I think it was Friday at 11 and Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m.
Hmm.
And then on their website, they suggest like earplugs, a hat, sunscreen, water bottles, basically anything that you would need to like make it through a full day.
Right. Yeah.
um, like comfortable shoes and just like being prepared to wait in lines for like food in the bathroom and stuff. But
Yeah.
that's expected at any festival.
Right.
Um,
Right.
do you have any like tips or tricks or things that you learned about this festival, Jimmy?
Yeah, I was gonna say two things that you brought up. The water bottle thing I learned today. It only can be plastic water bottles; they can't be metal. So that was actually good to read because we were about to bring metal water
Yeah.
bottles. And then the other thing about the portable charger, if you rent a locker, they have a portable charger that you can um, put like a $10 deposit down and you get a portable charger for the day. And then you just give the portable charger back and you get your $10 back at the end of the day. So I thought that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to still bring our own. That's going to charge both of our phones all day. But if you
Yeah.
didn't have one and you rented a locker, all you got to do is put that $10 deposit down and then you get it back at the end of the day. So that was something I was surprised to read. But you mentioned everything else. I think it's going to be hot and then it's going to be cold and there's going to be a
Yeah.
lot of fucking there's going to be a lot of fucking people. So be patient. Don't drink too much. Drink a lot of water. But I'm just excited to see all these bands and see all the people that we're going with. Honestly, those are like the main two things. Like it's gonna be fun. It looked like it was a blast last year on that Sunday. I know Saturday was messed up and it made us really think like, wow, this shit is really fake. But then
Yeah.
after hearing our friend Brian in the wind and stuff like that, it was like, no, this is actually realistic. It's that bad. So I'm super excited that we're going this year. But we haven't mentioned it yet, and I actually just read about this today. The X Games is actually going to be there. Yeah,
Oh.
they're doing like it's called a vert jam. It's just like professional, like high profile skateboarders are going to be there. So during the sets are
It's
like
definitely
in
like
between.
a tour.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. In between the sets, they're going to be doing stuff. So I thought that was actually pretty cool because I absolutely love the X Games. So that was like a fun find. But I don't really have any other thoughts. It's going to be a quick weekend. We're only there for 48 hours, really, honestly. But there's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great memories, and I'm just really looking forward to it. I can't believe what is it, 8 months later, and we're finally going from when we bought a ticket to us finally going. So, you have any closing thoughts?
No, I think it's really just the same thing. Like, I'm excited to see everybody, excited to see the bands. The only thing I'll say is for this episode, next week we're going to reshare an old episode, so we have a little bit more time to recap what the weekend was like. So we're going to reshare our Dear Jack episode with Steve Mitchell, since we have Dear Jack coming up in another 2 weeks.
Right. That's crazy.
So he'll go in that episode. He goes over like all the events and stuff that they have planned and how he got involved in Dear Jack. So we'll just repost that one to give us a little bit more time to recap. And we have a guest that's going to recap with us. So I can't wait to share that with everybody. But otherwise, yeah, I can't wait for the weekend and to see everybody.
Yeah. Let's go. See you guys soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Ultimate Mixtape, an Andrew McMahon fan podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe everywhere you listen to your podcasts. To keep up with the latest news, visit our website, www.theultimatemixtape.com.